JustaMinx was one of the most successful streamers on Twitch. Just a few years later, half of her friends were canceled, and the other half don't want to talk to her. Life comes at you fast, I guess. The story begins in Ireland, where she grew up with her sisters. Becky attended an all-girls Catholic school and initially made friends. That changed in secondary school due to unspecified rumors. It's unclear what transpired, but they resulted in the worst years of her life. Shortly after, she was diagnosed with epilepsy. The ostracization led her to create her first YouTube channel in 2008. It's about what you'd expect for an 11-year-old, starting with a documentary about her tadpoles and horror movies set in Club Penguin. The channel appears to no longer exist, which is a shame as it showed her first taste of success. At some point, Becky posted a story she wrote about a picture of a sad dog, and it went viral, amassing over 800,000 views.
800,000 views, that's a lot for a 12-year-old. So I knew from then that I was going to be an internet sensation.
The success inspired her to join Wattpad a year later. She registered as Ms. Panda in 2009. If loneliness drove her to create, the same was true of fiction. Her work was initially inspired by various anime as well as Harry Potter, but that eventually subsided in favor of steamy romantic fantasies about maids. For example, Torn Between Alphas, parentheses, selling myself to the alpha. This actually brought massive readership, with one of her novels taking off in 2015. Today, nearly all of her books sit at 10 million views each. Her readers were surprisingly loyal, following her to sites like Facebook and Twitter. They even protected her from critics. Once, when I was under attack and being called out for being rude to fans by one hater, all my fans bundled together and made me a very nice poem in my Facebook group chat and cheered me up. The hobby, which used to energize her, grew exhausting due to depression. This is reflected on her account, with her last remaining novels unfinished. There was little time to write anyway between volunteering at schools. You see, Becca was in college pursuing a degree in special needs assisting. The idea of earning a living through the internet felt like a faraway dream, one she hadn't yet taken seriously. It may seem strange in retrospect, but she'd never even heard of live streaming. That only changed because of an Irish YouTuber named Cherry. Cherry made Call of Duty trolling videos, occasionally streaming on Twitch. It was while watching her videos that a notification appeared, a small blurb that changed her life forever.
So one day I was watching a video and a little notification popped out, like live on Twitch, and I'm like, what is this? She's live streaming. And I'm typing in chat, I'm like, whoa, this is cool. I'm actually, talking to the person I know.
The two became friends, with Becky invited on stream. They played regularly, which encouraged her to start her own channel. Her first broadcast took place on July 23rd, 2016. It went well enough that she kept going live. Her content centered around horror games like Dead by Daylight and We Happy Few. Highlights were posted to her new account, called JustaMinx. With that said, her viewership simply wasn't there yet. Her parents pushed for a more stable career in childcare. I'm spending money on another degree and probably still won't get a job. Now they want me to pay thousands a year for college. I'd never go to class, and the price of it is just bullshit. I can't even guarantee a job after. That was while volunteering, babysitting, and working as a receptionist. I miss being able to stay at home instead of getting up at 7 every morning. Life was so easy. YouTubers are blessed. Her schedule grew infrequent, and it stayed like that for a long time. Not much of this early content is preserved, but it's clear Overwatch became her game of choice.
No! No, 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 no!
I've talked about what brought Rebecca to Twitch, but haven't explained what kept people around. Minx was unapologetic in being a crass loudmouth. It wasn't curated, stemming from deep insecurities. Her life was an open book, venting in a humorous and relatable way. She was very open about her struggles with seizures due to epilepsy. This resonated with viewers who sought authenticity. Whether chatting or playing games with them, she fostered a sense of community to an average of 10 to 30 viewers. They provided much needed company as her real-life friends drifted away. It's a combination of these factors that carried her through the downtime. For those first few years, she rarely, if ever, cracked higher than a couple hundred live. But their dedication was seen early on in sending the small-time streamer to TwitchCon. Minx expressed a desire to attend back in 2017, but wasn't able to afford the trip. She was so desperate she signed up for a sugar daddy site. That changed when her dream of visiting California came true a year later.
They were gonna fire me anyway, so I kind of quit before they fired me. I'm babysitting, but I only get 70 a week, which is why I'm so grateful because you guys sent me to TwitchCon because I would have never afforded it.
Her goal was met in a single day with help from another streamer, Toxic Support from SMP Live. Minx had a lot of inroads, who she hung out with at conventions. These memories led her to cherish the small platform she had. At the start of the year, Minx's Twitch hovered under 3,000 followers. Life was getting busier as she contemplated leaving the internet to pay off her debt with a full-time job. If things went a bit differently, she may have pursued her lifetime job as a special needs assistant, but her channel saw rapid growth, surpassing 5,000 followers that June. It went up by another 1,000 the next 4 days, followed by her first 100 subs. We have new merchandise, boys and girls. Yes, I know you're excited it's here. It's a unique Y2K inspired design for all you goth baddies. It's double-sided, it's got Leave Me Alone on the back. On the front, it says Turkey Tom in death metal font, but you can't really tell. And that's why it's awesome, okay? This isn't just YouTuber merch. Nobody in public is gonna know you're watching videos about losers, creeps, and P words, okay? Nobody's gonna know. All they're gonna know is that you have this super swag shirt and you don't even have to explain it to anyone. But if you see a real one in public, they'll know. We've got a puff print on it, which means that the print basically sticks off of the shirt here. You can feel it, it's very textured and nice. My new merch is so icy, I had to put it in the freezer. It's so cold. It's just what I needed for the summer months. And included in every order, we also have a sticker you can stick on your laptop, girlfriend, dog, whatever makes you happiest, you got it. And if you want to get this shirt right now, you actually can get it on my website right here on Turkey Tom's shop. You can select whatever size you want. Shipping is not too expensive. We've made it pretty affordable. There's a very limited quantity, and once they're gone, they're gone. We're not doing this again. So, yeah, grab them while they're here. Before they're gone forever. Just like your mom. Twitch subs, for reference, cost about $5 each. Minx was so ecstatic that she drunkenly booked TwitchCon London, but couldn't get off work to attend. It's been a month since TwitchCon, and I'm still so sad I didn't get to go and meet my friends. Her schedule remains sporadic as viewers prefer the lack of a defined schedule. By November, Minx surpassed 10,000 followers and 300 subs. The extra cash was used to upgrade her setup as she started to feel like a real streamer. Rebecca ended the year with 15,000 followers and well over 1,000 subs. This newfound popularity came from a few different sources. The first was a clip of her stumbling out of her chair that gained traction. But more important was another streamer who Minx thanked directly. I got to meet a lot of new friends and people this year thanks to you. If anyone is wondering how my Christmas day is going, I'm with all my extended family who don't know I stream, and my cousin just looked at me and goes, Raj Patel. Raj Patel got popular for hosting a variety of talk shows on Twitch. His flagship was the Raj Royale, where streamers fought in an elimination-style debate. Each round was decided by viewers who voted on which cast member to boot off. It was common for names like Pokimane and Hassan to appear, as well as celebrities like Lil Nas X. Minx debuted in early June, leaving a strong impression on viewers. Fans adored her sense of humor, especially after she kept sneaking back in. They begged to make her a staple part of the cast. Minx finished the year strong, scoring 2 victories against Destiny. It brought an influx of new subs and connections, which she thought was unattainable. This was only the beginning, as it wasn't long until she was competing on his other show, The Rajler. The Rajler was a dating show where contestants fought over a single suitor's attention. It was renamed to Lover Host after Raj admitted to being a white guy named Austin. Minx was a perfect pick, given how much of her brand stemmed from being single. It was the basis for a lot of jokes, as well as sincere posts about her loneliness. It was part of how she built her initial audience, spurring a lot of creepy DMs from parasocial fans. There was even a stalker who tried to stop her traction by mass reporting her channel. In the early days, Becca fed off this validation as she was too insecure to show her face. Pretty sure I say how I'm not happy with my image, yet people find it amusing to continue taking screenshots on Snapchat. But Minx did grow confident, flattered by the hundreds of DMs pouring in. For once, she bought makeup that didn't come from a dollar store. She left her comfort zone, posting thirst traps and revealing cosplays she never would have done before. All the supportive feedback I had in my bikini pic made me want to get better. Minx debuted on Lover Host in November of 2019. The episode starred Call Me Carson, whose upload received over 3.7 million views. Minx made it to the final round, losing at the very end to Caterino.
Congratulations! Minx chose love.
Did she really? I thought you chose host. I really did.
It was a standout performance that placed her at the center of a growing online space. Carson was at the height of his career, on track to reach 3 million subscribers. Viewers were so invested in his life that Caterino's subsequent infidelity became a scandal in itself. With that context, it's no wonder why Minx's channel exploded the way it did. Lover Host also featured many rising stars from the Dream SMP, a group of Minecraft creators taking over the internet led by the titular Dream. That January, Jay Schlatt was picked as the Rajler's lucky suitor.
Guys like giving into it, then that's fucked up, right? That's fucked up.
I would never do anything.
Minx competed among 10 different girls, surviving every round over the next 4 hours. They had a strong comedic dynamic which led to a lot of funny moments, like when she brought out a drawing she made using crayons.
Minx, I'm not going to lie to you. Some of your expressions throughout the show and some of the ways that you've acted towards me during even Fitz's show, honestly, it's kind of disgusted me. And so if I am to pick you, I would we would be having none of those expressions anymore.
So are you saying my drawing is bad?
I'm not saying this has nothing to do with the drawing. It's just I think some of your mannerisms you know, what they might be just a little bit vulgar, you know.
So you're
And I mean,
saying my
even the
drawing is
thing-
good.
I mean, Minx, even the thing where your drawing bends over and starts what I can only assume is sucking my dick.
What the?
It's just so suggestive, and I mean, last week you were talking about
I was pumping
shitting
up the
down
go-kart's tire.
shitting down throats.
We're fucking go-karting.
Their dynamic brought her to the very end, with Schlatt hesitating for 5 minutes. After a long back and forth and switching between answers, he made his final decision.
Minx, congratulations! Congratulations, Minx! Schlinks!
Now, there's a part of the show I still have to explain. The finalists are given the choice between going on a date or getting hosted. This means the suitor could face humiliation if he picks the wrong person. You can probably guess where this is going.
Minx chose host.
Oh, no.
Minx! What?
While Schlatt lost, he left the show with a new collaborator, though her future as a streamer wasn't certain. At the time, it wasn't clear if that growth was stable. Her application for a Twitch partnership got denied. Her parents continued to urge her toward a different path. Minx lost interest in her degree, following in the footsteps of her father. She was about to get sent to training for 2 years to become a prison officer. That March, Minx visited America as a last hurrah. Her flight landed in Seattle, which is when she learned about the pandemic for the first time.
I thought it was a zombie apocalypse. I was in my head. I was like, what's happening here? I don't like to look at the news. The news makes me upset. So I honestly wasn't fully aware of COVID at the time.
The next day, President Trump announced a 30-day ban on most travel from Europe. It would be my luck that the day after I arrive in America, Trump puts the 30-day ban down. Every flight she tried to book got delayed for 3 months. Minx was stranded with nothing to do but stream. It was a blessing in disguise, as this ultimately allowed her career to take off. Minx continued to appear on Lover House with guests like Swagger Souls and Saikuno. It was only a matter of time before she got an episode of her own. That lineup included John Zerka, Bob Seven, Crazy Slick, Too Mad, and Wilbur Soot.
Who would Minx be bad for? Normally it's who would be bad for Minx, but who would Minx be bad for?
Why would you ask? Why is this the first time you've asked it? Of all the girls you've had on, why me?
Well, I don't know. Just convenient, I suppose. Go ahead, Wilbur.
I think Too Mad.
Too Mad wound up winning, which they celebrated together on stream.
Congratulations, Minx. You get a host now. You get a host. And you get to, this is the love of your life, I guess. So...
Wait, do we have to go on a date now?
You don't, if you want on your stream, yeah, sure.
Look, I know it was all memes on the show and everything, but you look nice. You look great. You know what I mean?
Many of the people she met through Austin stuck around. Schlatt often called her to hang out on her stream or chastise her over the phone. These clips got upwards of 1.5 million views as parasocial fans wondered if they were an item. Minx also befriended his associate Wilbur Soot. They played board games together, which turned into main channel videos. Both videos have 2.9 and 4.3 million views respectively. The strangest was a conversation between Wilbur and Schlatt on her stream. It was an off-the-cuff ASMR-like discussion about Hot Pockets. The clip went viral, with his upload promoting her directly. She also formed a podcast with Austin show guests Casey Tron and QT Cinderella called E-Girl Rejects. By June, her YouTube channel had reached 50,000 subscribers. Her Twitch sat at over 130,000 followers.
Then I went from like 200 viewers to 1,000 viewers to 2,000 viewers. This was supposed to be my last hurrah, and I was like, okay, it still is. This isn't stable. This is just like one of those things. This is my peak. We're going to drop off. And then it didn't drop off.
The up-and-comer made a name for herself as Twitch's loudmouth sweetheart. Her outright screeching forced most clips to have volume warnings.
I bathe you in the name of the Father and the Holy Spirit. Please cast this demon out. Please cast the demon out of this child.
They caught lapses in judgment. Like one of her most famous, Minx stabs her White Claw with a butterfly knife. It spread across subreddits like Instant Regret before ending up in popular fail compilations. Her alcoholism is probably unsurprising given she's from Ireland. There was always a level of concern given her frequent drunk posting. For now though, it was mostly comical as she fumbled around like a slapstick character. As her departure from America approached, Minx rented out a haunted cabin in the woods. It made for a unique set, with figures hiding in the background and even a stage possession.
There was no one in the f***ing window! I know you're tricking me, chat! I know!
Becca flew back home on June 8th. By then, she'd lost interest in being a prison officer and asked her parents if she could try streaming for another year. They surprisingly agreed, and Minx began streaming full-time. Her storyline with Schlatt picked up after his victory on Lover Host with Alexandra Botez.
The last girl I met on this show, thanks to Austin, her name is Minx. You know, I give people shit sometimes, and this last girl, Minx, she just takes it. I don't know if she's into it or what, but it's like it makes me feel weird sometimes.
Weeks later, Minx featured in a second episode of Lover Host, but her luck didn't improve with much of the same cast from her previous outing.
I also want to make the claim that I am the only person here that is interested in Minx. Like, I don't believe any of the other people.
That's bullshit. I'm super
into her. It's like, you know, it's a bold thing. Like, I am willing to be brave and say I would kiss Minx. I would do it.
Schlatt was a contestant and made his intentions known from the start.
You could keep me around as long as you want.
God,
you could
damn,
get me to the final round. I'm telling you what the answer is going to be. It will be a host.
It was hysterical, with their interactions compiled separately by fans.
Now I know why I'm single. I get it now. I get it. No.
Minx, hold on, Minx. 1 second. Minx, let's talk this through, Minx.
Can I just have a fucking moment? I'm tired.
Minx, hold on, 1 second, Minx.
There was even a brief cameo from Carson, who called in to give advice.
Bob 7 either. I would not advocate for Bob 7. He said I would advocate for him. I just want to say, Bob, I hope she eliminates you next.
More like call me fartson, am I right?
Minx, don't take Carson's advice on a Lover Host.
Schlatt followed through to the very end, getting his revenge in the final round.
I said I chose host.
He chose host!
I said I chose from my fucking introduction, Minx. I said I picked host the entire time. Every round, I reminded you of the fact that I chose host. And here you are, you kept me around till the fucking end. I smashed 15 fucking keyboards because I didn't want to be here anymore. And you pick me.
His upload garnered over 5.2 million views. It was a massive success. His viewers got invested in Minx as a character. They went on to film a Minecraft date together, which went as well as you'd expect. Minx barely played the game despite her proximity to the Dream SMP.
Press the button.
Press that button.
Press the button.
Press that button on the stone. Press that button on the stone.
Oh my god, do you see the button? Right
the fucking button on the block! It's on the fucking block, Minx!
There's literally no
Yes, there is! Oh my fucking god!
It received 3.7 million views, cementing her place on his channel. They kept interacting on stream, with Minx becoming a beloved fan favorite. The romantic storyline concluded with Schlatt's own Lover Host episode. Minx made it to the end, but lost to Alexandra Botez.
Minx, any last words you'd like to say?
Yeah, I was looking forward to getting a jet plane to Schlatt. He had chose me and provided a lot of content. But Alex, you're the lucky one who gets the views. So I wish you the best of luck. Schlatt, I did have fun making content with you, but this is obviously the end. And I hope Alex can provide you the content that I didn't. Thanks for having me, Austin.
The saga did wonders for her fledgling career, pushing her past the 100,000 subscriber milestone on YouTube. Her Twitch performed even better, with 3,000 subs and 200,000 followers. All those uncertainties disappeared as her momentum didn't falter. It only strengthened as she drew closer to the orbit of Dream SMP. That September, Dream's best friends, George and Sapnap, featured on Lover Host. The former saw brief call-ins from Dream and Tommy Innit. Minx stole the limelight. With so much chatter, she landed number 4 on trending.
There's already fan art of them. Minecraft fans are crazy.
Wet ass keyword.
What?
In the end, Minx won the show, marking her first victory on Lover Host. The two went on a date in Minecraft with Sapnap and Dream. Minx befriended the team, though her storyline didn't go much farther than Sapnap's elimination.
Minx, it's the end of the road! You have been eliminated from Love or Host! Unprecedented!
Oh
I have never seen anything like it before. Sapnap, what led to your decision?
You wrote a card for him.
This is so sad. I follow bro code. I can't be, talking to George's ex or whatever's going on.
Bro
code. She's in final 3
times. To Sapnap. Fuck you. You killed first, and you destroyed the house me and George built together. Fuck you again, Minx. And then I have a gravestone for Bert.
Minx went on to compete for Carl Jacobs, Skeppy, and even won a date with Quackity. These videos ranged upwards of 10 million views. Her YouTube cracked 300K by the end of the year, but it was nothing compared to her exponential rise on Twitch. Minx began November with 500,000 followers and passed 1 million 3 months later. With stable viewership, she focused on her own stream and telling a lot of stunts and physical comedy. They grew increasingly dangerous, with one landing her in the hospital. Minx tried standing on a chair, only to collapse. Her parents took over, which is when she fell down a flight of stairs and broke her foot.
I think the last time I was here.
What's that?
Yeah?
Becky.
What?
Minx received a warning for self-harm, which she'd gotten striked for in the past. While drunk, she once again fell and cut her foot on stream. This made it all the more surprising when she got hit for an entirely unrelated reason. Minx received her first ban on the 17th of December for hateful slurs or symbols. The exact violation was never made clear. Initially, she speculated it was for saying incel, virgin, or simp, but later it was accepted she got flagged for saying the word cracker. The sudden ban and lack of communication took her aback. I'm really on the fence of going back to Twitch. I think for now I'll just return and try to be way more family friendly. Gonna have to have a revamp on my whole brand. The community rallied behind her in the face of transparent injustice. She got unbanned a week later, just in time to celebrate Christmas.
I understand what they want from me now.
For 7 months in here. F you.
I understand what they want from me now, Lemmy.
The new year got off to a pretty bad start, with Minx facing backlash for her involvement with a major controversy. It scrutinized the private dynamics of the Austin show and its contestants. The story unraveled due to a feud between Destiny and Austin's producer, Bob Seven. At the time, Destiny was in an open relationship with his then wife, Melina. It wasn't always sunshine and rainbows, which she vented about to friends. That included Bob, who took it upon himself to save her. He instigated behind the scenes, divulging her stories to mutual friends.
It's the same thing, reason. Do you remember that stream where it was me, you, Pichu, and Eris on stream, and I was just going off like saying like, oh yeah, Destiny, I'm trying to infiltrate all your relationships. Like that's not like, that's me saying this because I think that this is so absurd.
Destiny caught wind of this and began investigating. He uncovered a pattern where Bob pitted women against each other. They started talking and realized the extent of his manipulation. It was through this that several concerning themes emerged. He shared people's nudes against their wishes, and he made unwanted advances that allegedly constituted sexual harassment. Austin learned of this and decided to let him go. Destiny spoke about the situation publicly the next day. It's worth noting this explanation came without receipts, which left room for doubt. Bob responded with a document accusing Destiny of lying. Minx was one of the few to take his side. Lamau, y'all really believe a drama frog? The tweet got deleted after fans assumed she was talking about Carson, who was facing his own controversy at the time. Destiny replied to her on stream.
Okay, I tend to stay in my lane because I just don't care about most of these people. I just don't have much of an interest in like PG-13 internet content or whatever. If Minx wants to like call me a drama frog and like call my credibility into question, like I will destroy Bob's personal life so hard that he will have literally nothing left. She should probably learn to shut the fuck up and go back to like appealing to the fucking teenagers on the new Austin shows.
Minx fired back by calling him out for saying slurs. Big words from a white man who says the N-word. The back and forth culminated in the Bob 7 manifesto, which ultimately destroyed Bob's career. It substantiated Destiny's side with an abundance of screenshots and recordings. He ridiculed Bob's friends, calling Minx lost and confused.
I have gone back and I have timestamped, checked the group and everything. Casey Tron and Minx were never in the original girl call ever. I have no fucking idea why the they think it is appropriate for either of those clout-chasing dipshits to involve themselves so publicly in this.
Minx retaliated by encouraging her chat to flag Destiny for harassment. The feud continued for months, with Minx even leaking DMs from Melina to instigate.
God, she's so fucking annoying. Just stop talking about me. Stay in your lane. Go back to fucking, you know, flirting with Minecraft like 18-year-olds or whatever the fuck you have to do to get your fame. You're doing fine.
This controversy had little impact in the long run. Her audience barely knew Destiny existed. However, it's an important event to note, as it was not the only time she threw herself in the line of fire for someone who ended up getting canceled. But we'll get to that in a moment. Around this time, Minx got sponsored by Fansly, a competitor to OnlyFans.
How much did I make in the first 24 hours of Fansly? It was 23K. I was sitting there absolutely flabbergasted. More than I make off my YouTube in a year. That is literally like 3 months Twitch.
Her explosive popularity brought a wealth of high-profile connections from XQC to Jacksepticeye.
Makes you have a face on you like a badger's hole.
Fake Irish.
Were you pulled backwards through a fucking hedge bush? Were you?
You literally took it to a badger's hole. A badger's hole. Not even my mother would say that to my father. That you have the audacity to say that to me.
And Minx also grew close with the newly formed One True King. OTK was a streaming org founded by Asmongold, Rich Campbell, Tips Out, Esfond, and Mizkif. They intended to build a network of friends using lifestyle content. They set up shop in Austin, Texas, as streamers moved south to not get left behind. That included Schlatt, who was hired to handle their YouTube channel. OTK quickly expanded their cast and declared themselves the largest in the world.
Schlatt, who do I remind you of? I look like Minx. What the fuck's going on? These fucking chocolates are all dog shit.
That's good, but just be louder and sound more like a dying vulture.
Minx competed on their show Schooled and took part in many of their events.
All right, is Minx gonna win the turkey and get stuffed tonight? Let's find out. 11:30 is currently the bid. Let's find if it goes up to $2,000. Do we hear anything over 11:30 right now? Gobble gobble on Asmon's. Right now, 11:30 right now. Do we hear 11:50? This is pretty much it.
But there was only so much she could do living all the way in Ireland. It was around this time she got graced with a new opportunity. Team Envy began as a professional Call of Duty clan back in 2007. They gradually fielded rosters in other games including League, Fortnite, and Overwatch. With this new wave of streamers, Envy broadened to personality-driven content. The effort launched in late 2020 with Alexandra and Andrea Botez as their inaugural talent. Minx was brought on that May, which she explained would allow her to move to Texas next year. One of her first videos with Envy had her rank members of the Dream SMP.
Because I feel like it's going.
Oh God, are you?
Turn off the camera. Turn off the camera. Like even when he's not here.
Minx was in proximity to two of the fastest growing communities on the internet. That year, she appeared in 22 different Dream SMP fanfictions. It was a lot of pressure given how frivolous their stands could be. Her main reservation before going full-time was a fear of getting canceled. Now, she was in a community that notoriously took offense to everything. Minx spoke out against this several times. Toxic stands are fucking wild. Hope you realize if your favorite creator saw you do this, they would hate you. It drew ire from the most obsessive of their audience, who declared her a problematic creator. They threw fits over nothing, like a joke about Dream being bisexual.
A lot of fruit, very fruity.
Oh,
I'm not gay though. I like men.
Oh,
but women are attractive too.
That May, Minx faced scrutiny for hitting on George. George not found, you look cute in glasses. This enraged hundreds of overprotective fans who insisted she stay away from him. Girl, this is why even Jay fucking Schlatt didn't pick you. While several Dream SMP members came to her defense, it showed fans were beginning to resent her. 4 days later, Minx had an episode on stream. It's unclear exactly what happened, but her behavior made viewers fear for her safety. They contacted other streamers for help, including Minecraft YouTuber Jack Manifold. Jack called in, but was unable to do much else. Minx returned safe the next day, explaining it was due to her BPD. I had a bad episode tonight, which was incredibly embarrassing. I usually hide this from my online life. I'm going to take a small break. Meanwhile, Minecraft stands accused her of faking all of this. A month later, they started digging through old tweets and accused her of racism, homophobia, and ableism. Most were simply jokes or taken out of context. A few were more understandable, though the backlash was overblown. Thread after thread was made about her supposed bigotry. Dream appeared in her chat that day, ignoring the outcry. They anguished over his stance, using his silence to further stoke the flames. 2 days later, Minx raided Dream SMP player Punz's stream. His chat went up in flames, which led him to say, if you are a toxic asshole in chat and don't like something about the stream, please fucking leave. This was enough to get him trending. Punz telling us to leave if we don't like Minx is It's so disrespectful to the minorities that she's hurt. One of Minx's closest friends from the Dream SMP was Nikki, also known as Nyachu. Nikki became a recurring guest on her new series, The Drunk Cast. It was shot in person for the first time that June, with the two kissing on stream. This sparked outrage among the very stands that called her homophobic. Thankfully, despite their best efforts, it didn't affect her career. In July, Minx met up with a ton of online friends, including Tommy, Nikki, and Jack Manifold. There were rumors she saw Wilbur and George, but its veracity is unclear. This didn't stop fans from getting upset it was even possible. Minx got sick from COVID 4 days later, which Minecraft stands celebrated. Minx feigned a breakdown with fake tears and bottles of vodka filled with water.
I don't care. I don't care. I think the reason they're so jealous is because I'm a fat ass, you know? And it's like, yeah, you're not built like me. You can't be as perfect as me.
On August 19th, numerous creators in the United Kingdom gathered to celebrate G. Nelly's birthday. Her guests included Jack Manifold, Wilbur Soot, George Not Found, I'm Alex, and Minx. The party took place during COVID. While it was completely legal, many felt they were irresponsible for not wearing masks. Nelly apologized, but Minx went to bat for her anyway. This put her in their sights as detractors listed off every mistake she'd ever made. You see, also in attendance was Captain Puffy, who hung out with Minx afterward. They played drinking games the next day, where Minx was dared to kiss her on the air. The clip was taken out of context and bizarrely spun into a crime. Yes, Minx was accused of SA for a consensual kiss. I don't care how much you hate me, spreading shit like that is not okay. You're invalidating people who have actually gone through such trauma. People are messed up in the head, man. It quickly overtook the original drama, showing just how far their parasocial hatred went.
I drew on it with Sharpie, and then I put the clear teeth on it instead of a cloudy, because this is my favorite pasty.
Now, you know what? Seeing that's made me happy. Every time Twitter cancels me, I'm just gonna imagine this person.
Minx returned to the US that September for Camp, an unofficial Twitch event hosted by Cutie Cinderella. It brought massive streamers together for challenges, games, and partying in LA. The event lasted 4 days, concluding on September 30th. Minx stayed in America, hanging out in Texas with 4 members of OTK.
Hey, hello. I got some fucking Dove men's soap for you too.
Okay.
Get some of that men's soap on your body, cause you smell like shit too. And you're a man.
I'm not. I'm not.
On November 21st, Minx joined OTK for their Friendsgiving event. During one of the games, Minx was offered alcohol by a different Melina. This made Esfand freak out as Minx couldn't drink due to her medication.
Aslan, I think you have beautiful hair.
I know.
Minx, this is an OTK.
You
want more
alcohol,
Turkey?
No, she can't.
Please.
No, she can't.
Are you her fucking dad?
She's at my house.
She didn't sign a liability waiver. You're free. I didn't sign a liability waiver.
No, Minx, really, she's taking medicine that she really can't drink.
She didn't take them in 3 days.
No, trust me. No, you can't.
She's anti-med.
She can't. She actually can't, Melina.
Isn't this a turn-off? This is such a...
Melina, please, Melina. She actually can't. She actually can't.
Listen to him. He's cucking us.
Melina.
You're not supposed to do it.
No, she can't.
Melina, do it. Okay, I'll put it back in the cabinet.
She actually can't. Stop. She actually can't. What's wrong with you? Stop.
The clip reached r/livestream fails, where viewers criticized Melina for not understanding the severity. You can't mix alcohol and opioids. Minx replied hours later by clarifying she wasn't actually on painkillers. LSF is wild. Me taking Oxy has been a bit for the past 2 days. I literally told my chat I got off them because my mom said they're addictive. While she claimed it was obvious, Esfand disagreed. Minx ended up apologizing, admitting it was in poor taste.
I will, on my behalf, before we get into Halo, I will genuinely apologize if I did upset anyone, because I know people said the main thing that upset people, a lot of people die in America from mixing that type of stuff. As an alcoholic, I know my limits with meds and shit. I wasn't on meds, but I'm sorry for anyone that did get scared or was concerned.
They reconciled afterward, joking about it being a publicity stunt for OTK.
I just want to give a big shout out to OTK, who's going to be paying for me and Minx's spa day tomorrow. Because we pulled off this PR thing very, very well.
OTK expanded her reach exponentially, hitting 1.8 million followers on Twitch. Her YouTube reached 700,000 subscribers. Their final collab of the year was a video of Minx ranking her matches from Lover Host. Schlatt returned to streaming soon after, inviting her to his Extreme Jenga stream. The video received 5.3 million views, with a standout of Minx eating cat food. On January 19th, 2022, Team Envy launched their content house. It wasn't in Texas, but the Hollywood Hills, boasting 4 floors and a life-size backyard chessboard. Minx was moving in with Code Miko and the Botez sisters. Envy celebrated with a surprise housewarming party the girls weren't made aware of beforehand.
7 a.m.? What? Wait, what?
It was off to a strange start, to say the least. Miko used their toilet bidet as a drinking fountain. Minx searched through 2 days old trash for food. At one point, Minx invited adult actress Mia Malkova. They got trapped in the elevator after Miko shut it down as a prank. It took over an hour for them to get out, so Minx threw a hot tub party with a bunch of strippers. This inspired Jake Lucky to call out the site's inconsistent policies. Minx replied by calling him sexist and a verified twat. A week later, Minx received her second 7-day ban. She was flagged once again for the derogatory slur cracker. It proved even more frustrating as Twitch prohibits banned individuals from appearing on stream. If she wasn't careful, she could get her housemates in trouble. To make matters worse, Minx was informed her next would be permanent. She vowed to change her style of comedy.
So I need to change myself, first of all. I'm going to be trying to... Here I am on the line right now. I'm going to try to walk before the line. What that means for me as a content creator kind of freaks me out because I feel like my whole thing is, what the hell? Shock value.
The streamer returned on February 14th with a sketch mocking Twitch and faking her arrest. It was just in time because any longer would have jeopardized her gig. Austin signed with G4 to host their online game show, Know Your Price. He was to present the show with co-hosts Will Neff and JustaMinx. Minx's band barred her from the first episode. She went on to appear in 10 of the 12 episodes in season 1. She performed a variety of physical stunts like drinking lube, acting out fights, and falling over, of course. But it almost came to a halt halfway through. Her entire trajectory was threatened on March 24th due to problems with her visa. For a bunch of annoying and different reasons, I'll be leaving back to Ireland next week. The next day, iDubbbz announced Creator Clash, an influencer boxing event for charity. Among the lineup was Minx, who was set to face off against TikToker Yodeling Haley. If nothing changed, she'd be forced to drop out, losing Creator Clash, Name Your Price, and Envy. It was ultimately resolved on April 3rd, with Minx finding a compromise that allowed her to stay, but prevented her from seeing family for months. In the meantime, she began training on stream. Creator Clash took place on May 14th at the Youngling Center in Florida. Minx and Haley were the 5th bout of the night. Minx sported a menacing sharp-teeth mouthguard. She grinned through the entire fight, even while getting punched. They started pretty evenly, but Minx took over in round 2, flaunting the strength of her right hook. She sealed her victory in the 4th round with a TKO.
It's over! It's over! Wow! Stopped it! A Minx! Wow! With the victory! Wow! This crowd is going, wow! She put that Irish fighting spirit to work and absolutely came forward with backhands, forehands.
The comments are full of people discussing how monstrous she appears in the ring. It was a well-earned victory, with her parents reacting accordingly.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
It was business as usual after this, with Minx jokingly challenging Amber Heard to a match. The first season of Name Your Price ended that June, with the second beginning a month later. Minx appeared in all but the last episode, with the finale uploaded October 13th. Comcast pulled the plug on G4 3 days later, ending the show for good. It wasn't much better at home either. On June 6th, a group of TikTokers showed up to the Envy house. They'd lived there in the past and felt entitled to enter their party. Minx argued with them at the door, and when they blocked her from closing it, she spit at them. This led one of the strangers to pick up a rock and throw it at her.
They were aiming at us. He just had fucking bad aim and missed. So that's why we sound like little bitches in this clip. That's why our voices are shaky and we're freaking out. Bobby, do you know? What the f?
Bro, I used to live here, but it's not like I was.
Yeah, but he threw a rock.
It's just.
We were talking.
It's just a house. We don't know you.
No, it was.
You just came to our house. We're doing shit. No, wait, let me talk. You just came to our fucking house expecting to let him off. Why are you throwing rocks? Just off.
10 days later, Minx shared photos of her legs covered in blood, scratches, and bruises. After a day of sparring, she and a few friends had drinks by her pool. They decided to hike up the mountain behind her home. Minx was inebriated at this point and fell directly into a patch of cacti. They continued climbing, which is when the group spotted what appeared to be a mountain lion at first glance. Minx charged the animal, getting bitten before tumbling down the hill. It's one thing to perform physical comedy, but the disregard for her own safety was becoming concerning. While in this instance it only affected her, this wasn't always the case. That August, Minx was invited to attend an all-female frat night stream with Maya and Cutie Cinderella. It was meant to be a light gathering, but over time Minx got progressively drunk. That night took a turn after she hurled herself onto the group's beer pong table without provocation. The camera was quickly shooed away while they tried to pretend nothing happened. Minx could be seen arguing with Cutie in the background before leaving. They banned her name in chat and timed out anyone who asked about it. Meanwhile, no official comment was made on the subject, with the incident swept under the rug. People started questioning if Minx should even stream full-time. Los Angeles appeared to have a negative impact on her health. Envy didn't produce much content and seemed to just encourage them to party. Minx's room even had an open bar. Her housemates told story after story of her dysfunction, but just dismissed it as Minx being Minx. That includes almost starting a fire to get people to leave. In fairness, she got upset if people checked up on her during bits, but it was concerning given she no longer could get her meds. At the same time, Envy was in the process of merging with Optic Gaming. They rebranded and signed Minx, Miko, and the Botez sisters back on. Their fate wasn't entirely clear, with the article noting they might relocate to Texas. On the 1st of September, Minx fell down a flight of stairs. It hurt her so badly she called for help, but not before going live.
Oh my god. Will I get banned if I show the fucking bone sticking out?
Eventually, EMTs arrived and took her to the hospital for surgery. The comments show viewers knew she needed help, but Minx was more isolated than ever, alone in an Airbnb. To justify herself, she called out streamers in LA for being fake.
And then I panicked because I was home alone. So I went live because everyone in LA is fake. If I'd called them, they would have been like, oh, another Minx bit.
It was only going to get lonelier as the days passed on. Several controversies loomed on the horizon that threatened to tear the scene apart. The first centered around gambling content, which had exploded in popularity. This was largely thanks to streamers like XQC and Trainwrecks, who took very lucrative sponsors. Trainwrecks claimed to be making in excess of $1 million per month at this time. This drew backlash from other streamers who felt it was harmful to viewers. Many of them had received similar offers and turned them down. Within a year, slots became one of the site's most popular categories. It wasn't long until they were confronted with the realities of this addiction. Slicker was well known behind the scenes as one of Raj's first contestants. He was fairly popular with 400,000 followers. What no one realized is that he got addicted to sports betting, using all of his money to play. When he ran out, he started borrowing from viewers and creators alike to cover his losses. He got sympathy through made-up sob stories, scamming even children and people with cancer. It wouldn't be known publicly until people started connecting the dots, with several coming forward on September 17th. Slicker was accused of scamming 55 different people to the tune of $384,000. One of those victims was Minx, who was furious she lost 10 grand to someone she considered a friend.
He's an asshole! He's very mean. Fake bitch!
She tried to confront Slicker, only for him to threaten his own life.
I did speak to him, and then he started crying and saying that he was going to commit suicide.
The next day, Slicker was confronted on stream by Mizkif, Hassan, XQC, and Pokimane. Minx apparently begged to get on before embarrassing herself. Those who saw it firsthand recall a fixation on her viewer count and an awkward request for a kiss from Poki. Following her removal, she denounced the group for giving him a platform.
I hate them, and it might just be because I'm manic, but I also think that I'm not completely wrong. That Miz, Hassan, and now Pokey are fake bitches.
It's worth clarifying Minx doesn't just have BPD, but bipolar disorder as well. The situation triggered some sort of manic episode. It was so apparent the entire comment section told her to seek help. This unfortunately didn't happen. Slicker was used to indict gambling as a whole, as streamers threatened to boycott if it wasn't banned. Train noticed this and claimed they were twisting the story to attack him. Miz replied by calling him a scammer, which led Train to fire back by alleging Miz and Maya blackmailed victims of SA to protect their friends. The conversation shifted immediately as people investigated the supposed cover-up. While there were allegedly multiple cases, we're so far only aware of one, Crazy Slick. No, this isn't Slicker from before, this is a different guy. It's a little confusing. Crazy Slick had actually been called out a year prior by Adriana Lee. Her story then resurfaced, describing his behavior towards her at a party. Adriana was supposedly blackout drunk and relied on other witnesses. Allegedly, Slick followed her around and tried to kiss her before succeeding. When she passed out, he wouldn't leave her alone, touching her neck and chest several times. The accusations were swept under the rug, as Mizkif seemed to downplay the severity.
Of what you can deem of it, it's sexual harassment, whatever. At a low scale, it's not really a big deal. I don't think people really gave a shit and really cared.
Slick was his best friend, a fact made clear in leaked recordings.
I want you to listen to the scenario. I woke up, I remember the whole day. It was one of the scariest days of my lives. My best friend in the whole world, Slick, is getting accused of, people are saying he's about to get canceled. I run in his room, Maya's crying, I'm freaking the fuck out, I'm hyperventilating. Mitch is there, we're all trying to figure out what the fuck we can do for my best friend, right? I care about Slick, I fucking do, I love the guy.
Adriana hadn't written the twit longer herself, getting help from Miz's then girlfriend, Maya Higa. Maya met up with her in person and asked questions some interpreted as malicious.
Basically saying, are you sure this is what Slick did to you? You were pretty drunk, you wouldn't remember it. Are you sure? That doesn't sound something like Slick would do. We know Slick. And then she was like, if you tweet longer, Crazy Slick, this won't be good for your streaming career.
The public wondered if this could be an intentional cover-up. Adriana claimed to have been blacklisted afterward. They stopped inviting her to parties, had friends disassociate, and stunted her career. All the while, Slick escaped relatively unscathed. Adriana went on to show stories from other women. He was creeping on streamers, making unwanted advances, and bragged about making Caterino. There were even claims he used Mizkif's account to approach women. The public sided overwhelmingly against him. Slick denied the accusations, calling them unfair. He reiterated he was simply checking on her before comparing himself to Johnny Depp. Needless to say, it wasn't well received.
No, you didn't, you lying fucking piece of shit. You never got accused of rape.
This is unfair. I'll be getting a lawyer as soon as possible. Learn from the Johnny Depp situation and think first. Last time I fucking checked is you still all have all 10 fingers, Slick. The f are you doing sitting around talking about Johnny Depp? You have the fucking audacity to go in and use his example to cover up for your slimy fucking bullshit. I don't give a f whether you touched her on the chest or not. You're a creepy fucking piece of shit that uses your friends to go and act as a gatekeeper to keep people out so you can allow yourself to be fucking abusive. I fucking hate you. I hope you die.
Slick was kicked out, with Miz apologizing and admitting it was SA. He was put on leave. OTK conducted a third-party investigation into the alleged cover-up, finding him not guilty. Whatever you believe of their culpability, no one really defended Slick past a certain point. No one, except for Minx.
And she did not fly. She doesn't have screenshots.
No, he did not, did he?
Minx vouched for his character and called Adriana a clout-chasing liar.
Slick is slick. I was here for this, and the other girl that was there too, and I heard them out. This is bullshit. They went out and Slick literally was just himself. And they took it the wrong way. Slick is good. Slick is weird. Yeah, he is weird. But he does it online. Like, he does it. It's always how Slick is.
She also alluded to Miz covering up a completely different situation.
Sound asleep, honk shoe, honk shoe.
Covering up. This wasn't the... Shit.
Some have claimed in retrospect this stream single-handedly destroyed her career. The inflammatory remarks spread across Twitter and posts labeling her as a victim blamer. Minx had a breakdown, chopping her hair off with a knife and dyeing it before temporarily ending the stream. She kept going live after this despite the pleas of her chat. Eventually, Cutie Cinderella intervened after not talking to her for months. Minx was taken to rehab, which she vowed to take seriously before going offline. Destiny criticized her for using mental illness as a shield. The next day, Minx was called out by Angel, also known as Toxic Support. Angel explained that in 2018, she attended a TwitchCon party hosted by Minx and her friend group. They began playing a drinking game with at least 13 guys. The game had each player strip every time they messed up. Angel alleged she left after they tried to pressure her into stripping nude. Minx was asleep, only finding out the next day. At first, she seemed supportive, but that changed after she spoke with her friends. Minx warned she could ruin their careers and allegedly blackmailed her. In 2020, Angel wrote about the experience without any names. Minx saw this and messaged her on Twitter. She claimed to be unaware of how the situation affected her, which Angel felt was disingenuous. Minx then called the situation a misunderstanding and defended her friends. Minx also alluded to drama from a previous community. Angel argued this was a threat, accusing Minx of manipulation, intimidation, and blackmail. Her story received a lot of attention, though not everyone was convinced. It seems at worst she was uncomfortable, yet allowed to leave the situation. And if you look at Minx's messages, she was fixated on this language. Don't say the word forced. You could destroy so many people saying that. How do you not realize that? They questioned why she didn't name any of the men involved. Her story was dead in the water and Minx never had to respond. It's not like she was able to anyways. An update was posted to her account 2 days later. It confirmed Minx went through a manic episode and no longer had access to the internet. Her stay lasted a week, returning on the 28th of September. She started up a live stream right away against the advice of her organization.
Very long story. I shouldn't be live right now, so in advance I do want to apologize to my org. I also do want to apologize for everyone that advised me. Do I feel bad? Yeah. I have been advised to do a YouTube apology video talking about it.
Minx apologized for her actions, stating she now believed the allegations against Slick. When asked why she didn't reach out in private, she admitted to feeling ashamed as Adriana had been a good friend in the past.
Even though it was a manic episode, I still said that. And manic episodes still have a part of the real you. Like, real you comes out. So I can't excuse it. Oh no, I was just fucking suicidal and manic. It doesn't work like that.
The VOD was deleted shortly after it ended. A few days later, she went live again, this time with a different backdrop. Viewers learned she wasn't in rehab, but a psych ward, and had to foot an unexpected $10,000 bill.
Our psych ward's free. Oh, here's the worst part of it. So I didn't want to go, but I was told if I didn't go to the psych ward, people won't talk to me after. And it was already paid for. And then I remember my release date. They're like, okay, you owe us 10K. And I was like, okay.
Now, Minx was trying to find a place to live and moving between Airbnbs. The process started before her breakdown. She left the Optic house for some peace and quiet. They picked her up from the facility and were understandably beset by her decisions. After her return stream, they decided to part ways. They gave her 24 hours to move out all of her stuff. The separation wasn't announced publicly due to company policy. Minx continued arguing with them in private, as seen in a leaked chat from October 6. She claimed Optic botched her visa and it had to be redone.
I was getting me visa redone because, like I said, I got fired from Optic, so my visa was null and void, cancelled.
There seemed to be no end in sight for her string of bad luck. Minx woke up on her 26th birthday, burglarized. The perpetrators smashed through her windows, stealing several items including her laptop and microphone. They also let her cats outside who are now missing. The owner's surveillance captured 2 identifiable men breaking in. Even worse, they'd been secretly living under the house. Minx searched the crawl space and found a den littered with drugs, alcohol, and some kind of transaction history. Only one of her cats was found, which led her to sleep underneath the house in an effort to find him. The paranoia drove her mad, as she came to distrust the owners of the Airbnb. They caught her sobbing outside and instructed her to stay away. Minx refused and started camping inside. The sheer amount of crawling led her to get stitches on her arms. It may not have been irrational. The intruders weren't just thieves, but seasoned criminals. After the break-in, they apparently burnt down a bookstore and left racist flyers with her address around town. Minx alleged they harassed and even stalked those close to her. It's difficult to discern the truth of it all, but the inability to feel safe falling asleep was taking its toll. On the 6th day, she fought with the owners and threatened to burn the house down.
I started fighting them, and I was mean during it. I just said that I would burn down in this house, and I would burn this house down until my cat is taken back to me.
Luckily, her cat was found alive and safe 3 minutes later. Minx finally moved out before her account was banned on Airbnb. The specifics are unclear, but it prevented her from booking anything in a 300-kilometer radius. During this time, many assumed she still lived at the Envy House. Minx confessed she'd been kicked out before leaking DMs to try and get them in trouble. It didn't work, as there was clearly more to the story. Minx was also let go from her talent agency, Evolved, who had no connection to Optic. With such a stressful few months, she relied on alcohol as her sole coping mechanism. During a broadcast on February 26, she got so intoxicated she could barely form sentences. This led staff to reach out and inform her of an impending week-long suspension. Her behavior was so self-destructive, they considered it self-harm. Minx's channel was banned for a 3rd time on March 2nd. It came right after a series of questionable financial decisions. Minx paid a year's lease up front for a house in LA. Then she donated thousands of dollars in subs to Kai Cenat. These decisions, unsurprisingly, were while extremely plastered.
Minx is unhinged. Stop. That person is just crazy. You need to block her.
After the ban, she returned to Twitch and ate dirt on stream. While the streamer was at her lowest, many friends were willing to give her a second chance. That included Cutie Cinderella, real name Blair. Blair's career was on the upswing after founding and hosting the Streamer Awards in 2022. They reconnected due to less than ideal circumstances. Atrioc, a mutual friend, was caught watching pornographic deepfakes of other streamers.
There was a group chat for all the women that were like a part of that. Then we had a group chat, and then there was a lawyer that was helping us with all that to take it down. And then out of nowhere, Cute was like, actually, Atrioc has recommended a lawyer himself, so we'll be going with that. And I deadass thought she was hacked. And then we called, and I was just like, shit, that was my bad. I literally thought you were hacked. We made up, and that's how I was invited to Streamer Awards, which...
Blair invited her to the after party on the condition she stayed sober. Minx promised she wouldn't drink, but made plans for the 11th of March. The Streamer Awards went off without a hitch, but within minutes of arriving at the after party, Blair learned that Minx was getting kicked out. Not only was she wasted, but she was trying to throw gas heaters into the pool.
I get to the party, she's wasted. She is getting escorted out by security because she's trying to throw heaters into the pool. The big propane.
The big gas heaters, like the ones that are like 7 feet, 8 feet
She was
tall.
trying to put those in the pool. I heard she was trying to throw Saikuno in the pool.
Yeah, and people she was trying to run in the pool.
Minx refused to leave, even as security escorted her outside. Apparently, she went limp to make it harder to kick her out. While dropping down, she hit her head and became unable to cooperate.
Some other stuff happens. All of a sudden, she's just laying on the ground, limp, and no longer cooperating and getting... They're telling me the party needs to be shut down because since she's in the front yard, neighbors are starting to come out because it's causing a scene.
Her friend got concerned and called 911, bringing police, ambulances, and a fire truck to the residential neighborhood.
I went out there when there were ambulances out there, and
a fire truck. A fire truck pulls down the street.
There's old people who live in these homes in the hills that are standing outside at 1 a.m. like observing, trying to figure out what's going on, calling in noise complaints because there's a big party. It made us look so like teenage.
They were forced to abruptly shut down the party, losing her $50,000. Minx was excommunicated, and the story went public the next day.
I can't tell you how many tears I have cried over losing someone who was my best friend to this, genuinely. Over the past year, you can't look at her in the face. There's not the same person there. She's been lost and gone. I have tried everything. I mean everything. I got together a group for an intervention and then got the rehab, got family involved. I've tried blocking everything. She doesn't want the help. I've tried handling it privately. It hasn't done anything. So I am just hoping that maybe all of this will finally make her realize that she needs to get help and she can't keep using excuses.
Minx downplayed the situation by claiming it was a simple mistake. Blair angrily refuted, "I almost had you thrown out of the show because you were yelling and making everyone uncomfortable. I hope this is your rock bottom. Get help." Minx claimed her going limp was not an act of defiance, but an actual seizure. "I had a seizure when I was pushed over. I slept all day yesterday when I got home from the hospital. It's obviously not an excuse for ruining the party, but I'm not lying about my epilepsy. That was 100% the worst seizure I've had since I was 15. Blair pushed back again. "Minx, you did not have a seizure. I was there the entire time. Also, no one pushed you, you're just lying. This picture is from when you were getting liquids at the ER. It's not clear what the truth is, with some accounts stating Minx went unresponsive."
She was just complete unresponsive. You know when you're drunk, right? Well, that's like almost about to go into a coma. Just come in responsive. I mean, you know, she's breathing, but she's just not there, man.
Blair even admits that Minx hit her head in her first recount of the night.
I guess, like, in that refusal, kind of, like, decided to go drop down so that it's harder for security, like no longer walking with security, instead of being dead weight. But while becoming dead weight, hit her head and then, was just...
she was just inebriated.
She was just inebriated.
Extremely drunk.
Regardless, it did little to absolve her in the eyes of the community. Some viewers criticized the public spectacle. They argued many had dismissed her problems for years in favor of content. Cutie apologized for going public, with the two reconciling a few days later. There was no going back to the way things were before. Minx decided to visit Ireland, moving back in for a bit with her family. It was a much needed break from LA, but one that didn't have much peace. 5 days later, she went live and addressed her drinking habits on stream.
What I need to stop is when I go to a party, I need to know when to stop drinking. When I start drinking, I know that's borderline alcoholic.
The fact she was claimed to be a borderline alcoholic showed she hadn't really learned her lesson. This clip made it to LSF, where people felt like she wasn't taking it seriously. But none of them could have realized just how insane this stream was going to become. It started off wholesome, with Minx's parents stopping in to say hi. They stick around for the next hour, hanging out with chat and answering questions. At around the 2-hour mark, Rebecca's older sister Lauren comes in. There was clear tension, with Minx deciding to call her out and instigate on stream.
Remember the AUD? Alright, Lauren, let me question you. Why did you lie and out me like that when I was your sister?
Rebecca was upset over an incident from a few months prior. Lauren followed her online presence and sometimes tweeted about her eCeleb sister. At some point, she added JustaMinx's sister to her bio. This caught the attention of a viewer who started messaging her questions. Lauren responded and began leaking private info.
You put on Twitter that you're my sister, but you told him personal, secret things.
Yeah, but do you think I was doing that to hurt you?
I think it's weird that you told a random viewer my private life.
Lauren claimed it was a simple mistake and she was just naive.
It's a lot of trust for a family to leak shit to a fucking
I need
viewer.
you to understand that it only came from naivety. This guy was messaging me days and days and days, essays, and I wasn't even always replying.
But I saw the screenshots and you said you sent him essays.
Becky felt it was malicious and Lauren had done so out of spite. Lauren tries to take it offline, but she refuses to end stream. The argument escalates after Becky shouts out LSF and does the nay-nay.
You're looking at me and telling me that you're hurt and crying, but you're doing the nay-nay.
Just it's a defense mechanism, you dumb bitch. I know.
Lauren defends herself by stating she never lied, even alluding to one of the claims. Their parents tried to separate them as the stream quickly devolved. Her parents return after Lauren walks away. They push for her to end the stream, but she refuses, insisting they play Never Have I Ever. Lauren eventually returns to talk to their mother off stream. Becky uses this to insult her with an earshot, which Lauren overhears and storms in to confront her. The camera falls to the floor, so we can only hear what happens next. The fight briefly turns physical, with Minx accusing her sister of being a PDF file.
You f***ing send information to a viewer saying that you and Mom are enabling her in the chat.
Enabling her? You're f***ing coming into my room after lying to a f***ing viewer. Did you? Because you...
Her father breaks up the fight, calling Becky insane and telling her to shut up. Lauren eventually picks up the camera, apologizes, and ends the broadcast. The stream was clipped and circulated on Twitter. Minx implied their argument was typical of Irish households and Americans were soft. When asked if her accusation had merit, Minx admitted it was completely false. Archives of the VOD were later removed through copyright strikes. A month later, Minx appeared on stream with 2 black eyes, a broken nose, and a badly scraped knee. The screenshots were posted by Nicholas Diorio. I clicked on a JustaMinx stream and she has 200 viewers viewers, she's on the phone calling her dad fat, her house is a mess, and it looks like she has 2 black eyes. What the f happened? Minx told him to leave her dying stream alone before explaining it was the result of boxing training.
Okay, listen here, Twitter. I broke my fucking nose, right? You tell me to get back into boxing and stop the alcohol. I do that and I break my nose and then suddenly, Jesus.
Minx was set to fight at Misfits 006, signing a multi-fight deal. Her first opponent was Fangs, with the event set to take place on April 21st. This didn't happen. If you'll recall, Minx returned to Ireland on March 16th. Her visa had to be redone, so she sent her passport to the embassy. They held onto it for over a month, preventing her from entering the country and forcing her to cancel the fight. Adding further confusion were cuts and bruises that appeared mysteriously in her sleep.
So I went to boxing yesterday, but I didn't get hit in the face because we were just doing like, you know, kind of with the gloves and shit. Come home, and then next thing I know, I'm just waking up, and I was so dazed and confused, and I'm like, I started freaking out, and I go to the mirror, and I have a swollen lip with a bruise. I have a swollen eye. It's kind of filtered there, but it's swollen and bruised, and I had a nose that didn't stop bleeding for hours.
Her channel was on the decline, losing 1,000 subs every month. This brought an influx of videos about her downward spiral from creators like Internet Anarchist, Paige Christie, and The Gamer from Mars. They amassed a total of 4.5 million views. Minx actually reacted to the latter on her channel, titled How I Lost My Mind.
Why does he keep calling me Rebecca? You better shut the hell up right now, man. I'm gonna clock you. I'll show you a boxing match.
While she acknowledged most of the criticism was valid, she offered insight to her various controversies. With regards to Adriana Lee, the two had recently made up and planned to hang out in person.
I'm just glad to say that I've been to Adriana recently. We've talked. She is a very kind soul because she forgave me, and then we had like a 3-hour call of just chatting and bantering. I don't really have an excuse for this one here. You hear shit that you shouldn't always fucking believe shit, and it was literally stupidity and disgusting on my behalf. I think she's actually going to be staying with me soon, but that'll be fun.
Her time in the psych ward hadn't helped at all, with Minx describing the terrible conditions.
Viewers began to wonder if her hospital stay had done Minx any good.
It did not do good. Seeing some lad screaming and smash his head against, it wasn't a glass window because they had it covered in plastic until he bled, kind of f***ed me up. And then have someone literally just be shitting on the ground, the serial shitter. It was not really nice. It was not a nice place.
There was a lot of misinformation surrounding the streamer awards. Saikuno went on record to state Minx never tried to push him into the pool, but the worst have been claims she lied about a seizure. Minx reveals her mother was on the phone and saw it herself. However, there's no proof given for this claim.
My mom was on the phone. She saw what was going on. She knows I was having a seizure, and she was screaming at people to please call an ambulance. But my mom literally will vouch, she was there on the phone begging people to call an ambulance for me. But I had a seizure after my head hit the ground. Security pushed me, which I don't blame them for that. They pushed me and I fell and it hit my head and I had a seizure. I just remember everyone staring at me with lights in my face.
The rest of the year didn't see much improvement. Minx grew bored of Ireland, searching for vices to escape. It manifested in impulsive piercings and tattoos. That October, she got kicked off a Disney cruise ship for twerking as Mother Gothel. 2 days later, she got into a fight at Walmart over their discount prices. Minx's latest video was uploaded on November 4th, 2023. It didn't garner many views, with her channel falling below the latest milestone. With her life starting to slow down, people stopped paying as close attention. This made the next development all the more shocking. Tumed had changed a lot since their lover host together. The beloved creator took a dark turn publicly after being accused of SA. He denied the accusations while harassing the victim and arguably incriminating himself. It escalated to the point of several police reports and 2 civil cases being filed against him. The investigation was funded by his ex-friend turned enemy, JustaMinx. I actually just made a video about this, so the story is over there if you want more. It's pretty messy. On February 14th, 2024, Medea Sadiq was found dead at the age of 23 from a suspected overdose. Not even 10 minutes after the news broke, JustaMinx accused Tumed of several crimes, including attempted murder, rape, and grooming. The timing sparked outrage as many questioned his intentions. That included Minx, who was one of Medea's many targets. As someone who experienced it firsthand and spoke about it, I think this tweet is fucking insane. James responded by accusing Minx of interfering with the investigation. He claimed she constantly switched sides and gave Tumed confidential information. He then shared a clip of her stating Tumed had nothing to live for a few days prior.
I think he's just trying to cope because he has none left to live for, which I understand because he has none.
Minx retorted that the only way she could have interfered is through her own reports to the LAPD. This led James to post another clip of Minx, this time claiming that authorities were tracking Tumed's location.
I just want JustaMinx to hurry up so he can fuck off. But answering his calls, this dumbass doesn't realize when I answer them, I can track his location. Not me personally, sorry. The police can, and see where it came from. If I don't answer it, I can't. And that's what they advised me to do. They said don't talk to him, just answer it, and then you just show us the call and they can track where he goes to right now. Oh look, he's calling again.
James also accused her of lying about the existence of a lawsuit. It's unclear what James meant here, as there are clearly 2 lawsuits against Tumed, one from himself and one from Goldie Bell, the alleged victim. He may have not realized that their civil cases fall under the definition of a lawsuit, but James inflicted a lot of damage to her credibility, showing she wasn't in much of a position to criticize him. The TikTok she made about his death also didn't help. POV, your stalker finally dies, but you realize no man will chase you the same way. Minx called James a liar and defended her previous remarks.
There's several things in James Key's tweet was absolutely fucking false with no evidence. He said how I ruined the investigation, and I literally looked back through everything today and the other day. I looked back through it, and the only thing I could find was obviously the clip of him posting about me saying, God forbid, you know, wish he was dead, which at the time, not the right words, but also at the same time, I did.
After this, she posted a written statement elaborating on her perspective. Medea had been calling her for days non-stop across several burner numbers. He harassed her when she went live and allegedly showed up to her house. Minx concluded by pointing out she wasn't a third party and it was unfair to dismiss her experience. While her involvement in the aftermath largely ended there, it was not the end of her ties to controversy. It had been years since her name was a common sight among Dream stans, and a lot had changed. Dream was no longer anonymous, and the phenomenon surrounding him had faded. That was in part due to several now discredited allegations against him. The once collaborative friend group had fractured, with alliances drawn between the different factions. This is the context that preceded the accusations against Wilbur Soot that February.
Wilbur Soot has bitten me harder than that.
Yeah.
He just bites everyone. He'd bite you.
Never bit me when I met him.
Wilbur was accused by Shelby, a streamer, and his ex-girlfriend of emotional and physical abuse. He allegedly ignored her safe word while biting her, covering her in bruises. Wilbur responded by claiming it was consensual and that he had the messages to prove it, but he refused to release them so as not to invalidate her feelings. Wilbur also admitted to being slobbish, disrespectful, and selfish in the final months of the relationship. The response was overwhelmingly negative. Several creators rushed to her defense, including Dream, who called him dishonest. He faced further accusations a week later from an ex named Alice. Alice accused Wilbur of taking off her clothes without consent, which was her last memory before passing out blackout drunk. Now, just so we're clear, there's a noticeable lack of evidence from everyone involved. That's not to say it doesn't exist, but it hasn't been shown to the public. But as it turns out, it wasn't even necessary because Wilbur's fan base turned immediately. Minx agreed with them, but grew frustrated by the sudden outpour of support. She claimed his victims went ignored behind the scenes for years. Shelby deserves all the support right now. Whether there are people responding to the tweet that completely ignored myself and other victims crying due to his clout, I don't know if it was a work thing or intimidation, but I brought things up privately and they sided with him. I personally don't think half of them give two fucks. They're just sheep following sheep. It was later deleted after people criticized her for vague tweeting. Minx explained her own experience later on stream. The two had a falling out shortly before she moved to America. They were partying at his house when Wilbur allegedly reduced a woman to tears. Minx heard his shouting and stood up for her by screaming back.
She was like trying to split us apart while crying. She was like, at one point she like kind of went to the floor sobbing and stuff, and he was basically just saying like, you can't speak to me like this in my house, you can't speak to me.
Apparently, Wilbur was so intoxicated he went to the bathroom to throw up. Minx went to hold his hair up, which she claimed was her attempt to drown him.
I went to kind of hold his hair back, even though I was still pissed off at him, and motherfucker just went, you tried to drown me! You tried to drown me in the toilet! And I was like, what the f*** do you mean I just tried to drown you in the fucking toilet? And like, I was like, I started fucking screaming again, because I went to like fucking help. And you were like, you shoved my head in the toilet. You shoved my head in the toilet.
You attempted to drown me, JustaMinx. It's absolutely disgusting. When I was throwing up in the freaking toilet. I can't do this accent. The commotion brought everyone downstairs. Wilbur insisted she tried to drown him, while the only witness was too distraught to say anything. The guests sided against her, and Minx was kicked out, losing a lot of friends. This story, while unsubstantiated, led many who otherwise hated Minx to overlook their biases. They felt it recontextualized her past behavior, as Minx was lashing out against a smear campaign campaign. It was important, as his fan base was a large factor in why she didn't speak out.
At the time, like, you never know how it is with stans in the Minecraft community, especially when someone's so high on a pedestal. All I could do at the time was just let her rant to me and, like, not say anything.
The accusations against Wilbur set off a chain reaction, with several creators being outed to varying legitimacy. Most significant were the accusations against George Not Found. He was accused by a streamer named Katie Bugs, who claimed he assaulted her. Her story received widespread support in spite of the provable lies, including a flat-out faked screenshot. Minx joked about the situation early on, parodying one of George's first responses. As more information came to light, she criticized people for taking strong stances instead of waiting. Her seriousness was short-lived, with Minx ultimately celebrating the downfall of Dream SMP. The TikTok was tagged "kidding" and "I told you so." It felt hypocritical to hype up potentially false accusations for such petty reasons. They called her a white supremacist and a clout chaser. Minx liked white supremacist tweets a few weeks back and constantly puts herself in the middle of serious situations she's involved in. Don't support her. It was business as usual for the streamer, who kept getting wasted. The next day, Minx slammed onto the floor and broke her jaw. She tweeted out a photo comparing herself to Dream. For many, it was the first time they'd seen her in years, and they were in shock at how far she'd fallen. The comments were filled with people begging her to get help. From going from name your price to this, I refuse to watch anything from her after this unless it's positive. This is depressing. Minx claimed it was a seizure, but they pointed out she began to call every time she got blackout drunk a seizure. Even then, these clips received negative downvotes, with most refusing to give her a second chance. That is where Minx stands today. Disgraced, abandoned, and alone.
Are you fucking stupid, or you're just too fucking poor? You've never been on a fucking cruise? Huh? Broke ass bitch. I bet your mother fucking hates you.
With the community at large giving up on her, she's diminished herself to a self-destructive cycle in which no one can give her help. I think it's clear that Minx isn't necessarily a terrible person, at least not by nature. She clearly has a lot of natural talent for streaming. In the early days, she was funny, personable, and succeeded because of her flaws, not in spite of them. However, it's become clear that her drinking problem is not something she can get under control, and due to her life circumstances, the problem is only exacerbated. In the time when she probably needs help the most, she's managed to push away all of her career connections due to the unpredictable and outlandish behavior she always exhibits on stream. She's definitely fallen off, and whether she will fall back on or fade into Twitch obscurity remains to be seen. But hopefully she gets the happy ending, because I think those who hate her most at this point just hate the person she's become, not the streamer they initially fell in love with. I've been Turkey Tom, thanks for watching, and until next time, leave me alone.